Who doesn't love free? So let's talk the best free games on the Quest 2. Remember, this is not a comprehensive list. I'm trying to keep it fresh by adding in more games that I have not talked about before that you should be playing, but I'll put a link in the description to my previous free games list, as there's a lot of good games on that one that are not on this list. So let's start off with We Are One. Technically a game in beta, We Are One is a fantastic shooter puzzle game. This used to be called Help Yourself, and what you do in this game is you actually play as all the characters to solve puzzles. One character will shoot at one of the robots, and then you could throw that gun to where your next character is going to be. You're going to go to the next character, wait for yourself to throw the gun to you, and continue on from there. It sounds kind of complicated, but it is really, really satisfying once you get into the game. Definitely worth trying out, and I'm still trying to work my way through some of the puzzles, but I highly recommend checking it out. Next up is a game that I don't think gets talked about enough, and that is called Hibow. This is an online multiplayer shooter, if you will, although it does use a bow and arrows to actually shoot the other players. It's a really fun game that'll have you jumping around and gliding around the map as you fire arrows and use swords against the other players. It's got multiple game modes. Highly recommend checking out Hibow. Next up, if you're looking for a horror game, which I am not, then I highly recommend checking out PolarDread. PolarDread is essentially a fan game for Five Nights at Freddy's. I've actually had some people tell me that it's scarier than Five Nights at Freddy's, with some interesting twists like force pulling, throwing, and then crouching under a table, apparently. Not something that I want to do, but if you're looking for a horror game, then this could scratch that itch if you don't want to pay for it. I might as well mention some of the big ones, so let's talk Pavlov Shack Beta. This is Pavlov, if you've heard of it. It's a PC VR first-person online shooter that's extremely popular. This is the Quest version, Pavlov Shack. It's in beta, but it's been in beta for a long time, and it's absolutely free. Got a lot going on. A lot of people play it. A lot of people love this game. Nothing to lose. It's absolutely free. If you're looking for a racing game, V Speedway is actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. It has a single-player mode with online leaderboards. It's obviously not the best looking game, as it's a Quest game, and it's pretty simple, but the game plays really well and it's a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a free racing game, I would jump on V Speedway. I'm kind of going quickly through these because I don't want to waste your time. I just want to tell you what games I think you should check out. Let's go ahead and talk about Dungeon Maker. This is a revolutionary game. It's more of an AR game than a VR game. It uses the pass-through so you can build dungeons in your physical space. That's right, you can actually build dungeons using the pass-through mode in your physical space. Really, really cool. Let's go ahead and mention another one that everyone knows about, and that is Rec Room. Rec Room isn't for everyone, but there is stuff in there for everyone. There is so much to do in that game. I'm not even going to go into what there is. There's a lot of really fun things you can do in there. Just as always, any free multiplayer game can have some toxic audiences, so be careful with that. Rec Room especially seems to get toxic at times, but if you have friends you can jump in with, it's a blast, it's free. Oh, and fun fact, I'm actually part of the video creator program for Rec Room. So if you want to support the channel, then either click the link in the description below and join as a supporter, or enter code BMFVR in the creator support box. But it doesn't cost you anything at all, but you can join my group of supporters and it helps out the channel. Next up, Pioneer Endless Journey. This is a roguelite FPS where you collect and combine different weapon parts of pistols to create different combinations. It's randomly generated, so you get a different map every time you play it. It's got monsters that you fight. Pretty satisfying and quite fun. So if you're looking for a free roguelite, I'm trying to include as many different types and genres on this list as I can. This could be the one you're looking for. It's free, it's fun, so check it out. This next game, Vertical Shift, is another online multiplayer game where you'll be using grappling hooks, jetpacks, and gliders as you fly around the open arena in 4-player multiplayer. There are different modes, including freeze tag, hot seat, infection, and race. There is also a single-player mode as well if you don't want to play online, but the mechanics actually seem to work pretty well, and it's quite fun. It's pretty simplistic visually, but when you're in the game and playing, it's pretty fast-paced, so it's easy to look past. Next up, we have a game called Goalienator. This will let you become a goaltender in virtual reality. Customizable catching gloves, blockers, and goalie sticks, along with several different modes and training. And you can even keep track of your goaltending progress. If you're a fan of hockey, or you just want to try being a goalie because you loved Mighty Ducks when you were younger, then maybe you should try out Goalienator. Next up is a unique game called No More Rainbows. This actually uses a very similar type of locomotion as Gorilla Tag, but it is a platforming game. You'll be running, jumping, and climbing as you play as the Beast. This is a beta, so it's not a 100% full story mode, but does have a lot of good gameplay to play, and it's a blast to throw yourself around the environments using the unique locomotion style. Now, this next game is pretty unique as well. It's called Unstung. In Unstung, you actually command a swarm of bees as you help them grow and defend flowers against an army of angry bugs. I don't know if I want to call it an RTS. I'm not sure exactly what genre it is, but it's actually pretty fun as you keep all the bees doing what they're supposed to be doing, defending and growing and just becoming the queen bee. Let's go ahead and mention another popular game as we throw these out there, and that is Pokerstars VR. Pokerstars VR has a lot going on. So if you love poker, slots, blackjack, casino type stuff, you're gonna really enjoy Pokerstars VR. It is multiplayer, and it's really a lot of fun to play, especially if you can get props, and there's a lot of fun things you can do in there and meeting cool people. It's consistently updated with new environments and new stuff going on, so I highly recommend checking out Pokerstars VR if you're a fan at all of that type of game. All right, let's talk about another horror game. Let's talk about Crawlspace. Crawlspace has you literally crawling around retrieving missing dolls, which sounds terrifying because it is. You collect and return missing dolls from the crawl space over 5 different nights. It is designed for jump scares, so if you want to play for jump scares, have at it. All right, let's talk Gym Class. Gym Class is an awesome free basketball game. Been updated a ton since it was launched. The mechanics keep getting better. They have more locations now than they used to. There's a lot of people playing this game, so if you want to jump in and shoot some hoops, whether you want to play pig, have a one-on-one match against someone else, or you just want to shoot some hoops and get better at dunking, Gym Class is a really fun place to go and do that, especially since it's free and there's always people there to hang out with. Next up, let's talk Harvest VR. Harvest VR is a farming simulation type of game. The artwork is not anything to write home about. It's pretty basic, but the mechanics are what's fun about this game, and it consistently seems to be getting updates with more and more going on. So if you're looking for a farming simulator that's free and has a lot to do and consistently keeps getting better, I definitely recommend checking out Harvest VR. Battle Talent is another pretty popular game, although it's on App Lab, so it might not be as known as some of the other more popular ones, but this is like a combat physics simulation type of game. It's got mod support, got a few different types of levels, lots of different weapons, and the physics are really good. It's a blast to play, just to mess around in, even if you're just playing the standard game with no mods and you're just having fun messing around with the weapons that are built into the game and doing some parkour type of stuff in the game. It's a lot of fun to play, so definitely download that if you're into sword, physics, combat type of stuff. Next up is a game called Power Force. Now this is more like a wave shooter type of game, and I don't think I have one of those on this list yet, and I wanted to include one. It does have a rogue-like element to it, and you'll be dodging bullets, trying to get out of the way, and fighting against enemies, against bosses. It's kind of got that space action hero type of feeling to it, with some arcade injected into it as well. It kind of feels like an old arcade space shooter thrown into virtual reality with the boss battles and all, and it's pretty fun and it's free, so I definitely recommend checking it out. This next game is part of a series of games, and you're gonna laugh at me, but it's called Cactus Cowboy. The one you're seeing right now is actually called Cactus Cowboy Plants at War, and it's kind of like a World War II shooter with cacti. I think that's how you'd say it, cacti. There's also a Cactus Cowboy Portal that is essentially a Portal game that's made with Cactus Cowboy. And then there's Cactus Cowboy 3 Fully Loaded, which is another game from the same series. They are weird as heck, and visually, they're nothing spectacular, but they're actually really well done and they're free. So if you're looking for something to mess around with that's got cool mechanics and is actually quite fun to play, definitely check these out. They should get you laughing, even if it's just because it's so weird. Next up, let's talk about Crumbling. Crumbling is a roguelite action adventure game where you're going to control your character like it's an action figure with your hand. Yep, you're even going to open up the packaging, as you can see in the trailer, which is just really satisfying and really cool. You can even use hand tracking in the game if you like, and Anyways, if you're looking for a roguelike action game where you use an action figure and you feel like a kid again, then this is definitely something in that direction. Now, I know I mentioned this one in a past or several past videos, but Cards and Tankards is worth mentioning again. This is a multiplayer social game that's a collectible card game. There's 120 cards and you can collect them and battle against other players or against a computer in a really cool medieval pub style location. There's 3 different factions, each with its own unique combat mechanics. It is really cool. I have not had the chance to jump in and play as much as I wish I had. I checked it out a little bit, but I know a lot of people very much enjoy this game, and getting collectible cards is a huge thing. So if you're one of those people that loves collectible cards and playing card games against other players, then this is definitely something you should be playing. All right, let's mention another big one that doesn't need any introduction, and I probably shouldn't even put it on this list because everyone already knows about it, but that is Gorilla Tag. Yup, Gorilla Tag, the free game where you play as a gorilla and you go online, and in a lot of cases you get yelled at by people and sworn at. It's definitely not the best game to go play in if you're going to play with randoms, because there is definitely some interesting people in Gorilla Tag, to say the least. I've played it a few times now with people that I know, or at least people that I was familiar with or wanted to join me in a private room, and it was fantastic and fun. Having said that, randoms, every time I jump into a random room, all I hear is kids or young people swearing at each other and being vulgar, so I tend to stay away from the public rooms. Let's talk about the final overs. I, for one, am not super familiar with cricket. I know in Europe it is incredibly popular, but it's just not popular here in the US. Baseball is what we play here, so I'm not really sure what to say about this game except for the fact that it's free. I know a lot of people enjoy playing it, and apparently it's really well done. I've played around with it, but I'm not familiar enough really with what I'm doing to have a lot of fun with it. So there you go. Next, let's talk about UPENDERS. This is a 3 versus 3 online multiplayer shooter that's quite unique. You're going to warp between floors, walls, and ceilings as you play through the crazy maps. There's online team multiplayer, and you can play against bots as well. There's a domination game mode and a team deathmatch game mode. It definitely is very unique. Still haven't played it as much as I would like, but it's free and it's fun to play around with. Now, you can't have a free games list without Echo VR. Echo VR is an arena sports style game in a futuristic setting where you'll work as a team in zero gravity trying to get the disc into the opponent's goal. It's a lot of fun to play. There is some very talented people in this game, but if you love sports, or at least futuristic style sports, Echo VR is definitely something you should check out. Now, the last game on our list you're going to need some room for, not too much room, but enough room to actually have a physical guardian where you can walk around, and that's Traversal. This is a fantastic experience. This will have you walking around in different locations physically in your environment, and it changes the game based on your environment. So if you have a large room and you make a big guardian, it'll use the whole space. If you have a medium-sized room and you make a guardian, it'll use that space, and you'll physically be walking through these different locations and experiences. There's a lot of user-generated stuff. There's a lot in this game, actually, that keeps being updated. But if you want a guardian scale game that'll have you walking around, even if you've got a smaller space, this is the game to do that in. You also have T for God, which is awesome, but that's just a demo right now, so I didn't really want to mention that. But T for God is fantastic too if you want to check that out. Traversal, though, is really cool, and a lot of interesting locations that you can walk through and check out. And there you go. That's what I've got for you for the best free games on the Quest 2. What is your favorite free Quest 2 game? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to get the most out of your Quest and your Quest 2, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. Plus, you can check out even more of my videos right there on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy questing.